Well, women are taking over the workforce and also apparently the bank. Women are projected to control $30 trillion of U.S. financial assets by 2030. And with, of course, power comes responsibility. And there is a book that's out now that's helping women navigate all of their future funds and also the importance of really taking control of their finances. So joining us this morning to talk about the book is New York Times bestselling author Sharon Lechter. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Whitney. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
So you've written how many books? More than 20 books?
This is 28.
Wow. And a lot of people will know you because you helped write Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Mm-hmm. A lot of financial books. Tell us about the newest one.
Well, this one is How Money Works for Women, and I'm so proud of it because there's nothing else like it. It's four-color, it's easy to read, and it talks about the things that women face, financial issues, in every decade of life. We have women from 19 to 86 in the book, and talking about the various things that we face, from going to college, to starting a business, to getting married, and then possibly having a special needs child and having to retool how you earn a living. One where a woman escapes an abusive marriage with 2 children and has to start over. So we talk about the resources, the emotional aspect, and how to regain your financial footing.
What are some of the most common issues or questions women typically have when it comes to their finances?
Well, that's a great question. So many times women give up the responsibility for finances to their spouse, and that's what we want to stop, because we are continuing to control more and more financial wealth in America, and with that comes a responsibility to understand how to receive it, how to invest it, how to grow it. And so it's really important. But many times women end up we have a woman at 62, a real estate agent, who thinks she's going to have an entire retirement with her husband, and he comes home and divorces her.
Wow.
And she doesn't have any credit in her own name. That happens so often. And so I am on a mission to get women to stand up and understand they have their own credit score, to stand in their own power, and to understand the power. Because when it comes to money, you either control it or it controls you.
And there are so many different phases of life women can go through, from starting out working, from getting married, to having kids, to getting older. What is your recommendation for women who are working women? Maybe they have a spouse that also works full-time, and they're getting married. What kind of conversations should you have surrounding that?
I love that question, because I say go on a money date. Go on a money date, because it gets humorous when you talk about how your parents dealt with money. You know, my husband and I both came from parents from the Depression, but his parents still had every penny they ever earned. They were so cheap, and like, God love them, I adored them. My parents also, but they were entrepreneurs, and so they understood if they wanted something, they worked and got the money to be able to purchase it. So that mental mindset, that money mindset, is so important. So have a money date. And you'll probably laugh about it, but you'll discover a few things you probably need to talk about.
And talk about kind of like how much you have saved, like, you know what I mean? Like what your future plans are, like that kind of stuff. Is that what you recommend?
Absolutely. I have a friend just a couple of years ago, her daughter was getting married. They were all the way down the path of planning it, and they realized a month before the wedding that the future husband had $300,000 worth of school debt.
Oh.
Not a nice surprise.
Yeah.
And so those are things that you need to cover and need to talk about, is what your plans are, what your financial goals are, so that you can start working together.
When women are first starting off, you know, maybe they're in the workforce, maybe they're, you know, in their early 20s, they're finishing from college. What are some of the recommendations you would have for that sort of age group as well?
Start small. If you get a job, make sure you maximize whatever you can from an employer match in your retirement program. But understand, we are either consumers or investors. And most of us are taught to be consumers because we're not taught about money in school.
Yeah.
So understand that the more you can put away, I love the word assets. Okay, they're my favorite word on earth. Assets are sexy, right?
Oh, okay.
Because they work for you. So start early investing, buying, building, creating income-producing assets, because they go to work for you. And every wealthy person in the world has assets that generate money for them.
Money can be a funny thing to talk about, but certainly if you're, whatever phase of life you're in, talking to your partner is a good thing. So I'm actually getting married later this year, so I was asking that for personal reasons. So
Perfect.
I guess we have a money date coming up. We talk about it all the time, probably
Good.
too much.
Very wise, and I'm not surprised.
Okay, and tell us where people can get your book. Where can they find more information?
How Money Works for Women. You can get that at Amazon or my website, SharonLechter.com, and I'll autograph it for you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Sharon. Thanks for coming in. That was really insightful.
Appreciate you.
Holly is joining us now from